We have a development incentive program in Mount Dora we've had for a few years. I'm going to give you some background on Mount Dora first before I get into the actual program. This is the map of the city. You can see the two CRA districts. The yellow one is the Mount Dora Community Redevelopment Agency. And the other one is the Northeast CRA.
Gus, you're going to give us a break.
Huh?
You're going to give us a break.
You could take a break as soon as I'm done. I'll go quick. We had 5 presentations, so it's kind of hard to go in the middle. Let's see. This is 441, wraps around the city. Basically, everything inside is the old Mount Dora, and outside here is the new Mount Dora. Pretty much all the land on the other side of 441 has been annexed in the last 20 years, and quite a bit of it has been the last 10 years. So 441 has always been a boundary, kind of insulates the inner city or the older part of Mount Dora from through traffic as it goes around the city. This is just some information on the 2 different CRAs. First one was created in 1987, the other one 89. They were set up for 30 years, so both of them will expire this decade, one in 2017 and one in 2019, unless we decide to extend them. The Mount Dora CRA is basically a commercial CRA, as you can see, and the Northeast is basically a residential area, and as such has a much lower assessed value and lower tax increment. Each of these CRAs has an advisory committee that makes recommendation. The city council sits as has the CRA board. These are our objectives of the program. Basically, you know, CRAs are, the main mission is to encourage investment into private property. So the objective of our program followed that mission, that we wanted people to add commercial space. We had done a marketing study where we identified some target businesses and also improving the appearance of the properties. Either the property owner or business owner could make the application. If the business owner makes the application, they have to have permission from the property owner, of course. And staying with what we were trying to do really is, you know, as you want investment in the property, you're trying to transfer or transform what we call an underutilized physical asset into something that's going to be productive in the community, because, you know, as I said, the mission of the CRA is to increase the values of the property within the district. So that was the main objective of our program. We set it up where well, when you set up an incentive program, you need to tie it to something. Most economic development programs, they tie it to jobs. That wasn't the intent of our program. Jobs may be a byproduct, but that wasn't the main intent. So what we tied it to was the investment in the property in kind of an indirect way. We tied it to development fees. So any development or building, any fee, impact fee to do with a project, that's what we tied it to. So the larger the improvement you made, the larger your fees typically are, and then the larger that money you would be reimbursed back. 25,000 was the limit per project. We did a study and determined that would be probably the amount a larger project would pay within our CRA district. Our CRA district does not have a lot of large parcels. They're all small parcels, so it's not like you're going out on 441 where you can buy 20 acres and develop it. Most of our parcels are smaller. It includes impact fees. Lake County has transportation impact fees that are reimbursed or that qualify, and the City of Mount Dora also has a number of impact fees that would be eligible for reimbursement. The types of properties. We wanted to focus on properties that were most in need of redevelopment. All the properties were eligible, but we wanted to, in case, like anybody else, we have a limited budget. If there was a number of applications submitted, one of the criteria we look at in ranking the projects would be, what is most in need. And these are categories that we felt would represent the underutilized properties. You could also call underutilized properties opportunity sites. I guess it's a more positive way to put it. But we did a survey of the area, and we found that there were some buildings that were deteriorating and becoming functionally obsolete. We have a couple areas that are zoned commercial that were once residences. So there's a lot of work to be done, as you know, trying to transform a residential property into a commercial property. And also buildings just needing additional space. All our non-residential zone properties are eligible, commercial, office, industrial. Any new construction or any renovation construction is also eligible. Like everybody else, we want to diversify our business district. So in a case where there was multiple applicants, the deciding factor would be the business type that helps to diversify the district better. And we did have, this goes back to the market study, we did identified some target businesses. Our required submittals, and although the list is long, we try to make these submittals material that a developer or builder or property owner that was expanding would have to have anyways. If they're going through the permitting process, there's all types of site plans and building plans you have to submit, so that wasn't an extra requirement. If you're expanding your business, typically you have to get a loan from a bank, so the bank wants to know that you have a financially feasible business. So we required a market study and a business plan. Excuse me. Get some water. That was one of the main things the CRA board was looking at here. They insisted on having a business plan. They didn't want to make this investment into the community for someone that really didn't think out what they wanted to do. So the business plan was a strong requirement when they set up the program. The approval process, another thing the committee wanted to make sure was that this was a performance-based reimbursement program. They didn't want any upfront money. So what the applicant had to do was go through the process, construct a building, perform the work, and then they were reimbursed. So the process, they submitted the application. We then estimate what all the fees would be, and the city or CRA would then enter into an agreement with the property owner to reimburse the fees when the project was complete. So the project goes through the entire process of site planning, building permitting, whatever is required. And at the end, after they get their certificate of occupancy, then the CRA would distribute the incentive grant. So that's the program we have. Is there any questions? Yes.
Do you accept applications come first serve or all at once?
Well, that's how it was originally intended. And when we started the program, we mailed out the whole program to every single property owner in the CRA. We had a lot of inquiries, people coming in and seemed interested, but didn't follow through. One problem we did find out is one of our areas, the land development regulations were a little, were not conducive to redevelopment. So we went in and changed setback requirements and parking requirements and landscape requirements to try to make that area more conducive, the regulations more conducive to development. And after we did that, we once again sent out notices to every single property owner. I think by that time the economy might have started going down. Does that answer your question? Or?
So it's first come, first serve?
Well, it would be first come, first serve, yeah, because we have a limited amount of money like anybody else. Yes, sir.
For your next presentation, could you give a presentation on how you convince the county to extend your CRA by 10 years?
Well, we can ask Dottie. I think Lake County would be very receptive to us extending our. She's the head of economic development and redevelopment, and
Well, I think we've got lucky here. There haven't been a lot of issues between the county and the city. At least not yet. Even in the recent, time.
now that the revenues are going down, the counties have kind of lost interest, I think. When the revenues were going up, that's when they wanted. Anything else? Yes, sir.
Gus, the process seems a little cumbersome from a cash flow standpoint for somebody that comes to CRA initially. I mean, to put up this money up front, whether it be a property owner or whatever, it just appears to be a little cash flow cumbersome. I mean, if you're gonna approve it anyway, why don't you just put the money out as you spend it? So you're not-
Well, like I said, at that time, the CRA board and city council wanted to make sure the
Maybe
project.
consider changing it.
Well, actually, the process is no different than what you would go through anyways. I mean, you still have to go through site plan, you still have to go to building permit, you still have to go get a bank loan, you still have to prepare a business plan, so.
No, I'm not arguing about that.
Oh.
I just think that when you reimburse it at the end, they don't have that kind of money or can't get that kind of money anyway. So if they go through all those steps, why don't you do it as they go along?
Well, actually, what happened is, right before we had the hearing on or started talking about it, the city of Orlando, I think it was the city of Orlando, but some city went through some huge problem where they upfronted a lot of fees. People left, the project didn't get performed, and
They're probably talking 100 million, we're talking 10,000 here, so I mean,
well, 10,000 to us is a lot.
that's, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's very cumbersome.
Well, we are going to reevaluate the whole program, so whatever comes out of that will, I mean, we want it to work, so whatever will make it work, that's what we want to do. Any other questions? Nothing? You ready for a break, Wes? All right, go ahead. We'll take a short break.